Hello everybody, this is Johnny S with another happy game review. Unfortunately, it's not going to be such a big and such a happy game review. Sorry about it, it is going to be a little bit negative. I tried to put it off as much as I could, as much as possible, just in order for me to get a full understanding of the game, meaning put enough hours into Path of Exile 2 early access. I read a lot about forums. I saw other replays, other gameplay from other content creators and general gamers. So the opinion that you're going to hear now is obviously my personal opinion, fair enough, but it does have a base. It is based upon multiple opinions that I've seen. And we're going to go through it, and I'm just going to share some of these things. I'll try to keep it as fast and as quick as possible, not to bore you. My overall, and I've got some points that I'm going to go through. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep it as, condensed and to the point. I've got a couple of points we're going to go through, we're going to discuss them, and the overall notion, in case somebody does not want to wait for the whole video, is that I started playing the game because it's Path of Exile 2, it's been such a long time, the graphics are goddamn amazing, it's beautiful and all that, and so forth and so forth. The rating that I gave it initially was a 6 or a 7, around then. Taking into account that it's early access, that there are going to be a lot of fine-tuning elements to be worked out. The one thing to mention though is that working out through some of these fine elements, that is a very important factor when it comes to having a score on the game and on its current status, taking also into consideration the development period that has passed, how many years it's been in the gaming, and so forth and so forth. So I'm going to go through a couple of points. The rating now, if you ask me, I would say it's 4 out of 10. So it's really bad. It's below base. I'm really sad to say. I'm going to come out and state the things as bluntly as I can. This is not a purpose to rant. It's not a purpose to put grinding your games down. It's not. That's not the point. Okay, that's not the point. And not only it's not the point, but I am in a negative state that I have to actually sit and do this video. I was much more excited and positive. I thought that I was going to make multiple videos for the multiple classes, but at some point it lost its interest. It got very frustrating, and I'm almost to the point that I'm going to quit Path of Exile 2, at least for the time being, until some things get worked out. Because I'm a casual gamer, meaning that I'm a full-time work and job and stuff, I don't have the time and the luxury. I'm not a content creator to sit here and dedicate multiple hours without getting something back, and the something back is very important. It's fun. This is no fun. Once something loses its fun factor, you're done. I don't care if it's challenging. I'm not here to prove anything, that I'm good at the game, that the skill, for the love of God, a game should be a game and it should be fun. If I want to play Dark Souls games, I'll play Dark Souls games. If I want to play some other challenging game, I'll play another challenging game. This is Path of Exile. It's a top-down ARPG, isometric, Diablo-like. You're supposed to go through, kill enemies, and have fun. And just have fun. How much you want to push it, how much you want to increase the difficulty, and so forth, it should be given as a choice to the gamer, and not predetermined based on what the developers have in mind. Create 10 different difficulty levels. Do so. I don't care. This is not a competition. This is not an online game. You got nothing to compare with other characters. There's no ladders. There's none of these things should exist in any type of game, which is like Path of Exile 2. So I'm going to go through the list. I have not counted how many of these negatives is. I'm going to start from the most important negative points. I will explain a little bit about it, go to the next one, and keep on going like that. So Path of Exile 2, the worst thing in the game at this moment. And let me light up a smoke for this. The worst thing at the moment is the difficulty. It's simply put, difficulty. The boss, the mechanics, the damage that they cause to you, way too much. The way that the bosses, their attacks track the player, how many people have gotten one shot, the off-screen effects and the size that doesn't allow you to see the boss and telegraph the moves, so even when you do learn the mechanics, you're not able to dodge them. It's just tragic. I mean, who the hell tested this thing? You know what I mean? I've got, like, I'm serious, I'm going to say it as blankly as possible. Who tested this? I mean, the bosses are ridiculous. If you're going to do a boss 15 times, 10 times, some people do it quicker, depends on the build, some people do it more times. That to me is the number one breaking factor of the game. Okay, number one breaking factor of the game, and at the end of the game, of the video, I'll talk about where I am, what I'm doing at the moment, and how tragic it is. Second worst thing, ascendancy, the trials. It's ridiculous. You are forced to play something like League mechanics, like Ultimatum, I'm comparing it to Path of Exile, Path of Exile 1. You are forced to go through a specific, very integral, challenging, and long mechanic in order for you to have access to your ascendancy. Why? Why? It makes no sense. Personally, with my character, I'm level 36 and I haven't gotten my ascendancy. Why? Because I can't do the trials. Tragic. No point to it. No point to it. Why tie the trials, the ascendancy, an integral component of the character, to a game mechanic? It makes no hell sense. I don't know what they were thinking. It does not add anything to it. You've got to rethink about this. This is an advice to GGG if they want to take this into account, as per my opinion. So, moving to the next one, skills. Skills are tragic. They're tragic. There's not a lot of them. There's not a variation of them. You start with 1-2 skills and you end up like on level 36 still having the 1-2 skills. You're gonna say you're comparing things a lot with Path of Exile 1. Yeah, okay, it's Path of Exile 2. I'm sorry to anybody that doesn't like that, but if you don't understand, the Path of Exile 2 is going to be compared to Path of Exile 1, and it has to excuse its existence. I'm sorry to say it like that. It has to excuse its existence, okay? Then I think you're not all up here, you know what I mean? Your perception of things is not what it should be. All skills on Path of Exile 1 at level 31 maximum, they're all unlocked. You could see, you could buy the gems, you can see easily what was available to you. You can use them with any class, the versatility, the weapons, whatever you want to call it. Now you're limited, you're restricted. This weapon is for this class and for this class and for that class, and a couple of skills. You start with a couple of skills, you end up on level 36, you're still using the same skills. Tragic. Well, as far as the level requirements go and like I said, it's very tragic as well. I know that later on there are going to be unlocked more skills, but that's not the point of it. Support skills are crap. I'm sorry to say it, they're crap. They're totally pointless. You have support skills which are very specific to specific actual active skills, and you cannot put them in between and change them. There's a support skill, like I'll give an example. There's a support skill which is attack speed, and you can only put attack speed on a specific attack. Why? As long as there's an attack, as long as there's a bow character and you have attack, you should be able to put that support skill on any attack. They're limited. The points, the whole system, I mean, what the hell was the point of it? What's the point of it? If you're not getting anything, then you cannot, there's no reason for your existence. And this is always something that I'm keeping in the back of my mind when I'm comparing and I'm going through these things. Other tragic part, skill tree. Skill tree is way too huge for no reason. There's a lot of skills. It's like God knows how much bigger than Path of Exile 1, which also was like a contradictory factor when it came to new gamers and old gamers. A lot of people that just hated it, you know what I mean? So why are you making it even more big, but you're removing elements from it? You're making it like less. I was looking at the tree, trying to figure out where you can mitigate the damage over time. I could not find it. If it's there and I have not seen it, please leave a comment. You know what I mean? It's just way too less, way too big, more. For what reason? I mean, unless I'm level 100 and I have 200 skill points to allocate, I don't realize the point for it. Another bad thing, the map sizes. Map sizes is way too big. It's as if they try to just take up your time going through elements. Huge maps. The mobs are very difficult, from white mobs to magic mobs to rare mobs. They're like you're kiting them, you're moving forward and backward to uncover a map. You die in the map and all the mobs respawn. That's another thing which makes no sense. Why are you going to do that? Sometimes the map that is fully uncovered remains uncovered even after you log out and you log in back in the game, and other times after a couple of going in and out, it just changes instances. It makes no sense why the maps are like that, so big, and especially when you're questing, where you have to find like a small little thingy key, some progressive element, and you have to actually uncover the whole map. That another thing is really, really bad. Moving on, loot. Loot is tragic. It's not existent. You're going through whole stages and you probably find one rare. What am I going to do with that? And that, in most cases, that rare is out of touch with your build, your plans. You're just selling it. You're breaking it down. There's no point to it. Which also ties into the crafting. The crafting, the materials, the currency, again, not existent. I'm level 36, and I've got like one alchemy, perhaps one alchemy, 2 exalts, which again doesn't make sense. The hierarchy and the drop and the loot table makes no sense. Alchemy should be more common than exalts, and I've got more exalts than alchemy. What's the line here? Should I take the stash, the trade stash that I've got in order for me to figure out the order? That doesn't make sense. You've taken away the alteration things. You can't alt gear, you know what I mean? You can just like make a magic and then add one thing. If that's the case, then there's no crafting, you know what I mean? You can't keep on playing around with these things. So that's tragic also. The stash tabs are there, but they're not all there that I've bought. The microtransactions are non-existent from Path of Exile 1. I don't know if they're going to fix it, when they're going to fix it, and what the hell is going on with that. I have no idea. Moving on to another one, you have the mobs. The mobs are crazy. You might encounter one magic hour. I was clearing through the stage. I had over leveled the stage. I was going through it and I encountered a rare mob with right regeneration. I was not able to kill it. He was not able to kill me. I was just sitting there with my whole minions doing essence drain, contagion on him. I was doing damage over time. I was just not able to kill him. What the hell are these mobs? These mods, sorry, on the mobs. They make no sense. Very overworked, and sometimes even magic packs they go crazy. You know what I mean? And it takes so much time to go through a stage and through this huge map. And what's the benefit? You know what I mean? Again, at the end we'll talk about that thing. And finally, I wanted to do like an overcap. So these are the main things that I wanted to mention. And a question: was this tested before released? And is this excusable for the amount of time and development you had? And what is the point of it? To make something different for the sake of making something different? You were supposed to offer things that Path of Exile 1 was not able to offer because of its backlog. You have not done this. You have just chose a different route. It's almost like a different game with things missing, but yet there's a comparison factor there to it. So I don't understand what the point is. Very tragic, the current state of the game. It's 4 out of 10, and I've been generous. If I'm going to keep on playing it or not, it might be just out of boredom, purely out of boredom, and because of the visual and the aesthetics and the fact that there's nothing else to play. Other than that, I'm literally quitting. Like, I'm not pushing forward, I'm not aiming for something. It's just ridiculous. And now to the last thing that I want to end this video is where I am at. I'm at Act 2. I'm going towards the Abomination, which I think is the final boss. I've got no clear indication of what the final boss of Act 2 is. I think it's the Abomination. He's causing way too much damage. I am unable to kill him. I'm level 36, so you can clearly see my level at the top here, and the map is level 31, which means I have to replay this map and again and again and again in order for me to get a couple of levels, which will not make a difference on my character, in order for me to be able to kind of kill the boss if I can. I've played this stage for around 30 times. I kid you not. I played this stage for about 30 times. I'm over leveled on the area and I cannot progress. To me, this is no fun. You just killed every single fun. As far as gear goes, this is my current gear. We're going purely armor. We got 5.3 life regeneration with a lot of life and a lot of defense. We got a lot of resistances and a lot of armor on this. We got a lot of armor on this, as you can see. We got a lot. We got life regen on this, a lot of life, a lot of armor. We got a lot of armor on this one here, and all the accessories are focusing on life regeneration. 8.8 life regeneration, 6.8 life regeneration, 6.3 life regeneration, 7.2 life regeneration, in a total of 52 life regeneration per second on a 787 pull. Okay, with a damage recouped as 80%, with a 51% mitigation armor, and I'm not able to sustain myself with one mana potion. That's another tragic thing. One healing potion or one mana potion. What's the point of that? You run out of charges. So I'm able to regenerate a lot, and that's in order for me to have these potions. I was not able to get a potion modifier that gains charges over time, which seems to be very important in the game. You just made it difficult for no reason. You made it difficult for no reason. I've socketed the items. This is like as much as I can push it item wise. I cannot do the trial ascendancy. I cannot kill the end boss. I know all his mechanics, how to dodge the electricity, the balls, the javelins, the stand next to the woman with the whole vibing of the stages. I cannot beat him. The damage that I cause is way too short. The passive that I have selected to go through is a little bit this way, getting a couple of mini nodes and a couple of regeneration nodes. Additionally, because I'm going for armor, purely armor, because the defenses are not there, they're just not there. I had to actually put a lot of strength. So instead of actually going up here and getting more damage for my minions, I have to spec for more strength in order for me to equip armor. So you're not giving me the choice here. I'm losing on damage in order to get strength, in order to wear better, more regenerative and defensive gear. And my idea was to next go here and enable this kind of physical damage and elemental damage recouped as life to possibly be able to sustain enough, because if I'm not able to sustain, no matter how much damage I do, there's no point to it. So the first is the defense, being able not to die. Second, and not run out of charges. And second, focus on the damage I'm not there for till infinity. I'm just literally at a moment at a loss. There's nothing for me to do besides play the same stage. I can only play this stage because the level difference is so big, and there's no point to it. Okay, guys. Like I said, I want to keep this video very short. I don't want to take much of your time. At the moment, 4 out of 10. Very tragic. You can almost say that I'm quitting the game. I'm quitting the game until they fix this. This is not excusable. Sorry to GGG. I'm going to be as blunt as possible. It's tragic. It's horrific. It's unexcusable. You did things just for the sake of doing things. Who the hell tested this? I have no idea. No idea, but like, for the love of God. And this is not just me, a huge part of the community is saying so. So, I thank you very much. Unfortunately, I was not able to deliver a much more happier tone, let's say, review. Tragic. And yeah, I bid you goodbye. Goodbye.